Toastmasters International is a nonprofit organization that has helped millions around the globe build confidence with public speaking. Since 1924, our Learn by Doing program will give you improved communication, public speaking, and leadership skills, all while building confidence for your next big presentation, whether it's in person or online. From those looking to change the world to those just looking to give a boost to their career, we know how to help. Build confidence in you.
Good. Dear ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to remove my mask because I think that so far it's not compulsory. I don't know yet. No one really knows. Bless you. Viewers, I welcome you on behalf of our... Share if you care. Okay, I know this black humor. A warm and hot welcome to our guests from Moscow, to our guests from the US, to our, I don't know, guests, Rami, where you are visiting us from still. I herewith open up our next hybrid meeting and running a little bit late, which is obviously a tradition of our club, and we don't want to break that. In a brief and short note, I would love to hand over to our Toastmaster of today to kick it on and make it rolling so that afterwards we have still time for a nice refreshing drink and others. And meanwhile, enjoy our speakers and activity for today. If the Toastmaster of the day is ready, I would warmly welcome and introduce him. It's Randall Eastman.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Walter. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's party time. Why is it party time? I got a little bit of a yay. It's party time. Yes. Because no, that's true too. It's party time because it's the end of our Toastmaster year. And what could make Walter more excited and happy than the end of the Toastmaster year with a functioning hybrid meeting, which is something that he strived to make happen through this year. So today we're going to have a recap of some of our successes over the past year. We're going to welcome in our new team, and that's actually the key parts for today. So I'm not going to spend too much time now, but what I wanted to do is show you a few slides of a presentation because we have some guests. How do I grab? I want to find that. Yeah. Share a screen. So I took from our friends in Moscow a nice presentation they had made in Russian, and I tried to translate it reasonably well into English because it looks more alive and party-ish than the traditional Toastmasters promotional materials. So in Moscow, we have several clubs, and we have, as you know, we have special guests from Volodchenko, French-speaking club. They have been acting as an area for some time, and they've been collaborating together for some time. And during our conference that we had in the fall, we showed this presentation.
Yeah. Okay. That one, right? Yeah. There we go. And you want to? Yes, we do.
Thank you.
Move that bar because that bar is always other people, and then we have the start.
We also have a German-speaking club, and that's good because this is a German. Okay, what is Toastmasters? We actually have non-Toastmaster guests, which is a very, very good thing. We have another guest who popped in. So we need to sign our form. Can you pass that form, please? So for people who have not been members of Toastmasters before, what are we? We are a worldwide nonprofit educational organization that helps people learn to become better communicators and more confident leaders. The cool thing about Toastmasters is that we're in 145 different countries, all doing the same thing. We have more than 16,000 clubs around the world and 364,000 members. So what you see today, if this is your first time to a meeting, is similar to what happens all around the world, probably every day of the week. It's all about improving your own communication and leadership skills by volunteering and coming together as a team, as a club. Walter, I have problems going to the next slide. There we go. What did you press?
Click the biggest button.
Oh, the big button. Okay, so what is a Toastmasters club? What happens in the club? It meets twice a month. can meet actually every week, but our clubs in Russia meet twice a month. We have ideally 20 to 40 members. We don't have that yet. So one of my key messages here today is that if you come more than once, we really need you to join us in our club because we need the support. So we are going to fill in a number of roles today, and the more members we have, the easier it is. We have an executive committee that leads the club, which has 6 to 7 officers, all of whom are volunteering. By volunteering, they are improving themselves and becoming better communicators, better leaders. Our meetings typically last 2 hours. We have a clear agenda, which we share through a tool we use online. We try to keep to that agenda, and we have a team member who's going to critique us on keeping to the agenda. So we learn how to actually plan a meeting and keep it within the time. In a Toastmaster meeting, you will hear about 20 to 25 different presentations or different speaking opportunities that are of different types. So we have prepared speeches, which you'll see first in our meeting. We have an improvisation session where everybody in the room can participate for 1 to 2 minutes. We have an evaluation session, which has actually many roles, where we give immediate feedback, constructive feedback on what we're doing. And we have, well, that's basic it for the meetings. What will you get out of this experience? You'll become a better speaker. You get a chance to become an expert in a role. You can become a more confident evaluator of someone, listening to them. You can become a more confident Toastmaster, which is what my role is here today as the Master of Ceremonies. You can become a more confident improv speaker, which is very valuable in modern age. Within Toastmasters, there are 5 levels. Each of us who join this club, we choose a path. The path has 5 levels, which are level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. And we have to, within those 5 levels, we have to make about 13 different projects, which are, they're in a direction that we're interested in, but they give us a format, and then we have to come and give a prepared speech on that topic. And you'll see later today that 2 of our members this year have completed those whole 5 levels this year, which is amazing. And you can see that some of my slides are still in Russian. And I kept this all in Russian because why do I have to translate it when you're all Russian speakers? So we are an English-speaking club made up of Russians. So I think you can be fine with Russian. Russian speakers. Okay, no more buttons. Button's not going anywhere. Stopping. Oh, did that work? It did work. Why join us? We'll get to this some other time. I just want to actually show you that there are some nicely laid out slides here that we can use to try to promote ourselves. And that's it about that. Now, I want to tell you something about the principles of Toastmasters. And my dear assistant president, there are some handouts floating around there somewhere. Yeah. So there are some principles I want to share because a lot of you will not know this if you're not a Toastmaster. Yes, yes. So the mission of Toastmasters. Toastmasters itself is an international organization. It's physically located in the United States, in Colorado. The mission of Toastmasters itself is to empower individuals to become more effective communicators and leaders. Then Toastmasters has districts all around the world. The district's mission is to help the clubs. And we will, from July, become part of District 108. And our club, which is number 4399476, it has its mission. And its mission is to provide a supportive and positive environment where people can are empowered to develop their communication and leadership skills and become, as a result, more self-confident. So the key message there is that this is a safe environment where you can make lots of mistakes, and it's much better to make those mistakes in an environment like this than in your workplace. But as you gradually become stronger, then in your workplace, you start to shine. We have 4 key values within Toastmasters: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And we have this promise, which has 10 things. And that's why there's a handout, so I won't have to talk you through these. But the key thing is that if you become a member, you have benefits of membership, but you also have an obligation to help, not just sit back and let everybody else do it. So we want people to join us who will actively participate and really help the club become stronger. And if that happens, and we have enough of them, then the management burden for each of us is actually very low, and it becomes much more fun. So it will be fun for us afterwards when we have our little party. But it's not so fun in the beginning if we don't have enough support. So there is this promise, and perhaps in the future when people become members and we put pins on them, maybe they stand up and say, I promise to do all these good things. Okay, now that is my introductory remarks, just to give you those of you who are new, some background about what is Toastmasters. Today, we will have 3 sessions. We'll actually have 4 sessions. We will have prepared speeches, 3 prepared speeches by our members. We will have a year-end wrap-up by Valdar and myself. We will then have a break, and after the break, we will have table topics, which is our impromptu session, which Valeriya won last time, very impressive. And after that, we will have our evaluation session. And our evaluation session has several components to it, and it's under the leadership of the general evaluator. So today we have a man who is our general evaluator and I chose the man who likes the hottest temperatures. So this guy actually likes temperatures 32 to 36 degrees. He likes it hot. And his name is Victor. So Victor, can you please come up? Victor is a CTM, which means he's a competent Toastmaster. And he is our general evaluator who will introduce his team.
Hello, everyone. I really like hot temperatures. I never thought about it and I never knew it. But when I came to India and I lived there for 3 months in the summer in India, in Sri Lanka, south of India, I understood that hot is really nice weather. And I really can stay well with that. So until you haven't tried hot temperatures, don't say that hot is terrible. So I will introduce my team today for our meeting. Is it better? So grammarian will be Olga. Yes. And she's gonna tell about your possible mistakes and point how to improve your grammar. Then accounter will be Valeriya. Correct? So pay attention when you say or she'll be counting it and will tell her report at the end. The timer will be Maria. Right here, she will explain how much time will you have to speak in all the parts of our meeting. Okay, so the quizmaster will be Walter. It will be at the end. So pay attention at everything what's going to be taking part in our meeting. It will be asked very precisely and with German precision at the end. You can ask any question what was happening at the meeting exactly and who's going to win, he'll give a prize, correct? Right, thanks. And we're going to have a ballot counter. It will be Kostya here. So we will have votes and we will count the votes and we'll tell who will win in our competitions. So that was my team. I'm giving back to the grammarian. Okay, so now I invite grammarian Olga to explain about her role and introduce the word of the day.
So, hi everyone, I'm your fellow Toastmaster from Moscow, from the French Club. And so today I'm going to be taking care of your grammar And as you know, it is crucial in any language, but I do know how to make it engaging and thrilling. Just, private message me. I'm a language coach, I'm a teacher. Just kidding. Okay, so today we have this lovely word of the day. And I'd like to introduce it to you by saying that just last night I had a huge party, and now the reason why is that now I'm the incumbent president of the French club, which means that now I hold, yeah, thank you, round of applause for me. Now I hold this title. So the word is actually both, can be both an adjective and a noun. And you can use it like this, as I used it, the incumbent president, so as a definition. You can also use it in a phrase being on or upon somebody, which means to be necessary for somebody. And well, another option for you guys is to use it as a noun, incumbency. So I do encourage you to use it as many times as possible during the meeting, speak. And yeah, I will take notice of everything that you say, all of your mistakes, all of the great usage of the English grammar as well. So that's it from me. Thank you very much. And see you.
Kostya, can you just double check? I want to make sure you can hear well. You can hear us well?
Yep.
There's a little bit of wind coming from one side. Okay, good. So thank you very much. Now we have prepared speeches. The sound was not here. Okay, so for our prepared speakers, try to stand a little bit close to this microphone so that you can be heard. Otherwise, we would have to shut the windows. Yes. So we will have 3 prepared speeches today to hear from our members. Our first prepared speaker is going to be Marina. Marina likes the temperature of 32, no, wait a second. Marina likes 23 to 25 degrees. So she likes a little bit cool, not too hot. Definitely not 36 degrees. But she's going to give us a speech about a place that's hot, hot, hot. And the title of her speech is Unforgettable South Africa. Marina, could you come up? So Marina Volodchenko, Unforgettable South Africa. Unforgettable South Africa, Marina Volodchenko.
So Unforgettable South Africa, part 1. How often do you think about safety on the streets of your hometown? My personal answer is never. I never was thinking about going somewhere and not being safe, or taking special measures of being secure, or trying to avoid something dangerous. So anywhere in the city I go, I feel pretty comfortable in any public places, in places like subway, places where there are a lot of people, or where there's no people. It's all comfortable for me. And I realized that I was taking it as a granted. I never thought about the safety and security of living in Saint Petersburg or countries like Russia or probably any other European country. Until I went to South Africa. South Africa was, a very appealing option to go for traveling during pandemic year, because they were open for Russians for some reason. You don't need visa, and it's also a lot of different landscapes, nature-wise, safari animals. So it's one of the unusual places where you find anything and everything, for your own pleasure or vacation. No matter if you like active type of vacation or some kind of passive activities like sitting in the car and just looking outside of the window and trying to catch the animals. So I went to South Africa prepared. That's how I thought. Because I went there with a group of people. We had 6 friends. And 2 of our friends are very experienced in traveling, and they actually are very well in organizing trips. So when we went there, they planned everything to the minute. They booked everything in advance. They purchased all the permits in the camping sites. They organized the food. They even, to the point where they even prepared dry ingredients, a packet of dry ingredients for borscht. So one day we could sit on the camping site near the fireplace and prepare our own borscht. So it make us feel home for one day. We all have comfort food, right? Like our comfort food is all different in different countries. So I think for Russians, it's common to have borscht as a comfort food. And of course, we were aware of criminal situation in Cape Town and Johannesburg. And we were traveling by car. We were going from Johannesburg down to Cape Town and stopping in different areas. And every single day we were staying in a different hotel or guest house or camping site. And the whole adventure was just like a dream. We went to safari, we saw all these animals, lions, leopards, impalas, wild dogs, you name it, all different types. And I didn't realize that this passive type of vacation is something that I can enjoy, because as you know, if friends who knows me, they realize that if I don't move, it's not type of my vacation. I'm not resting. But this time I realized that this is like a gamble. You're looking for the animals and you're trying to find your favorite animal. Like for me it was lions, and I was super happy when I saw lions during the night safari. And we went also after safari, we also went to the mountains. We did a couple of beautiful hikes. We tasted the best wine. We ate the best meat. We cooked ourselves actually meat on the grill, but the quality of meat is amazing. So we were feeling like kings in that country, to be honest. And during the whole way, it felt safe, and we were aware of differences in financial level. So we would always give money to the people who were asking for, or we would buy food for homeless people. And every time if we see a boy on the parking lot, we would give them money just to make sure that the car is safe. So by the end of the trip, we were feeling pretty safe there. That's how we thought. But by the time we arrived to Cape Town, and on the day before the last day, we went for a dinner. And unfortunately, it was just 3 of us. The rest of the group stayed at the hotel. They probably knew about this somehow. And we got attacked by 2 guys with knives. And they took our backpacks. They were trying to, I was thinking, I want to fight. Like, I don't want to just give it away, because, it's just kind of weird. We were walking in the safest place in the whole city. It was 10 minutes away from the hotel. There was a 5 minutes away police station. So I was like, no, there's no way they're robbing us. I'm not going to give this backpack to them. But then I thought about it, and I realized that if I'm going to fight, they probably, they were trying to stop me. So you don't know the reaction. You don't know how they're going to react. So of course I let it go, and then I run after the guy who was robbing me. Don't ask me why. I was just probably trying to give it back. And by the time I approached him, he decided to jump over the fence. And the funny part that somehow he got stuck there and he had hanged himself by his pants on that fence. So when I looked at that, it just I was in shock, because that kind of situation where you're supposed to be laughing, and taking out your phone and making like funny videos for TikTok or like for Instagram, but At that moment, I was like, no, I don't have my phone. And it's pretty sad situation. So, but at the end, the guy was able to escape. He, in a second, he just ran away. But long story short, I wanted to say that it was the first time when I wanted to go back home after vacation in a beautiful country so badly. And I appreciate my country and the security and safety in my country much more now. So please continue to travel, but stay safe.
Ladies and gentlemen, for a prepared speech in our meetings, we have a timing, it's usually 5 to 7 minutes, and then we allow an extra 30 seconds after the end. And after our 3 prepared speeches, we'll have a vote. So we want all of our 3 candidates to be eligible for that vote. That's why I was inching up here, because in a physical meeting like this, we can actually do this. We can use body movements and try to catch the attention of the speaker to get them to stop. When we're online, we could never do that. So this is a benefit of being here. Our second speaker is going to give us a speech that is on a topic of understanding your leadership style. And her speech is entitled Lead and Let Lead. Our speaker today is Valeriya Gagarina, our president-elect. Lead and Let Lead, Valeriya Gagarina. Close.
So, dear Mr. Toastmasters and guests, I have a question for you. Are there any leaders in the room here in the library or also in the virtual room? Please raise your hand if you can call yourself a leader. Walter probably would also raise his hand, but he's busy. Can you call yourself a leader? Okay. Now I'm going to tell you one story which happened to me 2 weeks ago, and then I ask you this question again, and we will change. I'm curious if the number of hands will change or not. So 2 weeks ago, several friends and I went to Severodvinsk district for a horse ride. For me, it was first time. We went there, the horses were being prepared, and the instructor girl asked us, is there anyone who did not ride a horse before? And several of us took 1 step forward. And then she asked, are you afraid? And we were nodded tensely, and she asked, like, okay, who is, you have to decide who is afraid the most. And I was like, I am. And she said, okay, then you come forward. And they brought the huge chestnut, chestnut gelding named Igrim. This Igrim, he didn't like bridle. And so the girl was, he was following the girl by the rope. And everything was expecting for me, just sit there and relax and enjoy the ride. So I was wondering if the Igrik was the leader of the herd. It seems to be so because he was the protector of the herd, and so everyone was following him in this situation. Also during this ride, I was talking to the instructor, and I heard a lot of interesting things about horses' psychology and social relationship in the herd. The other horse there was Wendy. Wendy is an alpha mare, and she was very wayward. She was, when not led by a human, she was going wherever she wanted. And Igrim and other horses was following her. So she can find the best food for everyone. So I asked the girl, is Wendy the leader? And actually, if it's peace and quiet around, then yes. But if it's a danger, then Igrim is taking over the lead. He's protecting the horses and bringing the herd to a safe place. Then there were another fellow, Papyrus. Papyrus is a younger gelding, and he is a scamp and troublemaker. He always liked to play with his fellows, and he's encouraging them to do some stuff like suddenly starting up a gallop or going to a forbidden field in the neighborhood. In those situations, he is taking the lead, and the other mostly following him. But when he is getting too naughty, then Igrim or Wendy can put him in his place. So there was another lady, her name was Marcel, and she is the grandma of the herd. She's 20 years old, very quiet, and mostly walking around alone aside of the younger crowd. But there are some horses which are new to the herd, and they are not full-fledged members of it. Gather around Marcel, and Marcel is in some way their leader. For me, it was very interesting and surprising to make those parallels with the humans. I thought in every team or family or other group of people, we also have those roles. And so my question now to you, can you recall any situation in your life? It can be in work or in private life with friends, in the sport team, or any other activity you're doing, where you at least once were in those leading positions. And now I you can recall those, please make some I see who were before changing their mind. That's also interesting. That's all from me. Thank you very much for listening. Back to you, Mr. Toastmasters.
Thank you, Valeriya. Valeriya likes 24 degrees, so she likes temperature in between the range that Monica likes. Our third speaker doesn't care what the temperature is. In fact, he likes it to be unpleasant because he wants to, because he feels respect for his ancestors who were pioneers who had to build this up, and they didn't have creature comforts like air conditioning or windows or fans. So Roman is going to speak to us today. He is a past president of our club. He is a competent Toastmaster, which means in the former system, he completed all the assignments. And he is, what else did I say about Roman? His assignment today is to speak about also the same assignment. It's about understanding your own leadership skills. And he's going to speak to us about RFP principles. So Roman Malashin, RFP principles. RFP principles, Roman Malashin.
Thank you very much, Mr. Toastmasters and guests. I would like to start with a question to the audience. Who of you have ever heard about leadership? So, no. So, no many raised hands, right? And this is not surprising because I invented those principles when I was preparing this actual speech. So today, I'm going to share these principles according to my own experience of being a leader of a team. And the first one is the result. The result is the ultimate value. We should concentrate on the result. And this is what I'm trying to convey to my teammates. Because in my case, the results is a scientific breakthrough or a new scientific knowledge or technological breakthrough. And I consider this to be rather sustainable goal to pursue it. And that's why I believe we all can contribute to the result. I would like to share you one small story that will show and illustrates the perspective from the concentration on the result view. So imagine there is a professor who is taking the exam, and there is a student who gives her calculations to him. He looks at this list and says, you see, there is a mistake here. She takes it back, looks and says, yeah. But the answer of the professor, it's probably you can get a credit, but the rocket will not fly with this mistake, and this is important. So you see, don't think about how people think about what you're doing. Don't think about credits, money. If you're building a rocket, think about rocket flying. And this is actually very inspiring. It's very helpful for a leader to follow this principle because it helps you to make decisions. If you have a tough decision to make, you can always ask yourself, is it helpful to the result? Will it make the result better? And if yes, then probably you can implement it. It objectifies your decisions, make them more easy to understand to other people. It's easy to share and stay honest with other people when you think about this principle. The second principle is F, freedom. Everyone has freedom to make their own decisions and make their own decisions. To delegate to I use not to give the exact instructions step by step what to do. I just give my recommendations based on my experience, because we are solving complex tasks and there is no one path to the result. There are multiple paths, and I don't know the best path. So everyone can decide which path to choose, and I just can only recommend. And this is quite impressive when you get something new that was able to do something. And freedom is close to related to. So, example from my own experience, I was working in one company as the lead engineer, and I used to build a plan, week plan, and every week plan I have to deliver to my team leader, who always wanted proofs that it will work. Like for a couple of hours, we were discussing my plan, if it will work or not. So it was actually a terrible experience, because one day I just understand that it takes more energy to justify my plan than to implement it. So this was a horrible experience when you need not to work on the result, but you need to work to satisfy someone's opinion. I would not recommend to implement this idea if you want to. And one should have between another question audience, not the questions maybe, but just imagine to be the ultimate leadership sign or ultimate leadership skill. Probably everyone has his own answer, but for me, the ultimate sign of a leader is when he or she is able to let another person lead when it is beneficial to the whole group. And how we consider that it is beneficial? If we get to the result faster. So if we get to the result faster, we can change the leader, and it's okay. Good leaders are good followers. And the last but not least principle of mine is P, which means people. People are value. People decide everything, as once Joseph Stalin said. And it's actually very important to understand that we should invest in people and we should let people to develop. Because all my ideas about the result, about freedom of making decisions, may sound a little bit communistic and unreal in practice, but I believe the solution to this problem lies in people. If people can share these thoughts, yeah, so they can share and work productively and do things productively. So these were my 3 principles, and I would like to finish my speech with a reminder that today new officers will lead our club in the next year. And I would like to wish them to meet here awesome people who will make their own free decision to achieve the best possible result in public speaking and leadership. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you very much. Very, very appropriate remarks. I want to take up my pen because as I was sitting here, I was thinking it's actually very, very interesting. But we started off with Marina. And Marina was 24 to 25, 23 to 25. Roman has his big brain. We have Walter, who comes right here. So why am I saying this? Because I would like to welcome Walter to come up, our current president of the club, to say a few words about the year. Walter Schwarz, the year. Walter Schwarz. Thank you very much. Right.
Dear ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, dear visitors from abroad, dear live audience, dear St. Petersburg and everyone. I will make it short and crisp because I'll have another slot on the agenda at the very end and I will use it. However, I want to use this to provide the best performance for stating vision. And that made me actually totally in line with what I wanted to say today about the leadership of this group. Every time we go into a new group, it doesn't matter which one it is. Is it your new neighborhood where you just moved your flat? Is it a new employee where you just moved? Is it a new project you go? You always have an assumption of the people based on your experience before that point. And you think, now I'm going to make things in exactly this way. And your expectation is that it's going to work out because you have a little bit of experience and so forth. However, there's nothing more constant than change. And even considering the 3 aspects of focusing on results, however, leaving the people and your members live their freedom aspects, which are all individual, to make decisions in 2 ways, and that every project turns out often to be a new approach. Why? Because your neighborhood has different locations and different values and different goals. Your working project has a little bit less freedom because they're forced to do some particular work, or at least some of them to go to work. Let me start with that. And the decision making, not everyone wants to make decisions, and not everyone has the same decision-making power. So why am I saying this? Is that Brendel was asking me what would be your wrap-up of the year of leading the Toastmasters Club in one sentence or one phrase. And for me, coming from my story and expectation, taking the role from Anastasia Lir, was probably one step at a time. Being a German, my expectations of how projects run, how people are in line in 15 minutes with a setup, and the expectation of how to run a thing or a project or a organization were only one from my picture I had in the background, from my history and my work. Learning through the members and their behaviors and their reactions and the situation, which is always another factor from outside, which we cannot perceive, which we call COVID-19, how other people expect and how they change their behaviors. And I think to sum it all up, what I've learned in a very positive note, although I'm focusing on my words, it sounds a bit strict probably, but the one step at a time approach, helps to focus and really tick the most critical boxes. And that is exactly what Roman tried to explain in his example on the result. Is the rocket actually going to fly? No. Then why? Then we go to step number 2 to make the basement for the rocket. And that helped actually throughout a year to sum up and say, hey, was there actually an improvement to where I started? Because this is what my head always asking myself, is there any impact? Did you try to do anything for the group, for the club, for the library? And I tend to be rather pessimistic about the results. Being in some management background schools and leadership styles, and there are so much of them, I learned one thing which I also try to implement in my daily life in Russia, which is the Pareto principle, the salami technique, or the 80-20 rule. So by focusing on the results and on every single step which makes the rocket actually fly, this brings you to the 80-20 rule. However, when the rocket flies, it's actually great. No one will consider if the passenger is going to land back and be alive. However, there is a certain KPI or a box ticked. And I can say that I'm going to go through some results which we delivered throughout the year later on, that I think my biggest lesson learned is to be realistic in terms of making the rocket fly and focusing on the 80-20 rule, that the club is alive through COVID. We are running a hybrid meeting with online participants and offline participants. We are in a new setup location, which Anastasia Lir, I've taken over from Anastasia Lir those days, and it is a standard process now. And to have this realization that the club is still here with audience and the show is running, I think from that perspective, it's been a very good year for the club overall. And I want to say very much thank you, and a warm, very much thank you to Anastasia for leading me through it, and for all the team members which are online or not here today, but I will thank them individually at the very end again. Thank you very much, and over to you, dear Mr. Toastmaster.
You might want to stand aside. Okay. It's possible that we're going to talk about the same things. I'm glad that was I don't even think that was a pessimistic evaluation. It was a very positive evaluation. But my evaluation is got some quantifiable data, which I need the presentation. I need to get the presentation back. And the result is actually we've been very successful. One, we have had no fatality last year that we're aware of. So we're all alive, we're all kicking, and we have gone through many challenges. As Walter said, we had to learn how to move our meetings that were coming together physically in this space, and then they had to stop. So then we had to go online. That was definitely very much step at a time, where we became more confident at delivering meetings that were pretty high quality online. We began to introduce guests, like today you see Sergei Volodchenko, who's joining us from Ireland. He came back to us many, many times. We had our visitor from South Africa, Olga, who came to our meetings first offline and then came to our meetings online. So we were able to attract them. But what's more important is how our actual members have done. And so when I joined the club a year and a half ago, and Anastasia was the president, she kept talking about this thing. And nobody knew anything about it. I didn't know about it. I didn't even want to know about it, but she kept saying, DCP, we got to do all these things. And I didn't understand it, but now I understand it. So all the clubs around the world, we can actually see the results online of all the clubs all around the world, because they're all being evaluated on the same set of metrics. So people like Roman, who do research, they love metrics. They want to measure. I mean, today I like this, but I can measure temperature, which is kind of cool. And by the way, I like it. So what are the DCP? DCP is Distinguished Club, Distinguished Club something with a P. What's the P? Program, maybe program. Maybe not. Anyway, it's DCP. We all think DCP. Up here, you will see on the left, you'll see that we were undistricted. they stuck all of us in the clubs in Russia outside of a district. Moscow, because they had several clubs, English-speaking, French-speaking, Spanish-speaking, German-speaking, they banded together and collaborated quite effectively as an area, but we were off on our own. That will change. But why I'm saying this, because in the system, we can compare ourselves with our district, but we're not a district, so we can compare with all the other clubs that are in district. For us, in the middle, you see there are membership. In the beginning of the year, we started with 13 paid up memberships. Toastmasters cares about whether you're paid. One person in the room here hasn't paid, but we consider her our member, and she's still our acting treasurer. To date, we only have 12 members, so we lost a member net. We've actually gained members, but we lost. You know, if we had achieved 18 members total this year, then we would have been not just a distinguished club, we would have been a select distinguished club. So there are 3 levels here: distinguished, select distinguished, and president's distinguished. And it's amazing that in the course of this year, we have achieved this middle status almost. The membership issue was a problem for us, but we actually achieved, on the right, you'll see these check boxes. So check boxes mean we did a whole bunch of good things, and I'll show you that in a second what they are. But Walter, this year we did better than any year previously, because I've looked at the back history. So this was a fantastically quantifiably good year, despite all the challenges. This shows you who achieved what. So I mentioned at the beginning that 2 people this year in our club completed all of their pathway projects, so levels 1 to 5. First one to do that was Michael, who completed it in April. The second person was Alan, who just completed it last week. Actually, this week he did. So we have 2 people who have completed paths, which is a major step forward. It's like you completing your CTM or you completing your CTM years ago. We have many, many members in the room who completed their level 1, including me, and Valeriya, and who else? No, not Walter. Roman did, so he started a new path. And Rami, who is online, he did. And Anna Soldatova, who can't join us today. So we had several members who took the first step forward in actually completing several assignments, which I actually think is very hard, especially the leadership one, which I thought was, for me, was kind of dull. So we have made a very significant progress. We should be happy about that. I just want to show here what happens when you achieve this. So you get a certificate of proficiency for having completed a path. And this is Michael Waiter. He completed the dynamic leadership path. Alan Nakamba completed the innovative planning path. So for those of you who are new to Toastmasters, we choose a set of projects that we want to do that's in an area that we are interested in. And Anna, level 1, Rami, level 1, Randall, level 1, Roman, level 1, Valeriya, level 1. So that's that. So congratulations, everybody, for actually putting a lot of effort in, especially our newer members who have increased the pace, which is very important. And now, Walter, are we ready to pass over to the new leadership team? It's in the agenda. Would you like to do that now? You would like to do that later?
Yes.
Okay, at the end of the meeting?
Yes.
Then this would be a perfect time then to have a break. Yes. But before we have our break, it's very important that we vote for the best speaker. In order to vote for the best speaker, we must prepare a ballot. Kostya, wake up. In order to prepare the ballot, say something, Kostya. I gotta know you're sleeping because I can't see it. Stoppen. Как можно stoppen?
Something.
I can't reach it. You have exactly the same thing. No, but I have a different thing. No, it's sensitive. There we go. Kostya, okay. Kostya will make a ballot, but first we need to hear about our timing. So can you tell us, our 3 speakers, how long did they speak? Were they all qualified? Can you come up here? Because we wanted them to see you. We need to be standing in front of our microphone.
So the first speaker
and what
is
temperature?
Marina.
What's your temperature?
21.
21, right.
So Marina Volodchenko was a little bit exceeding the limits of 7 minutes. It was 7 minutes, like 30 seconds, but that was still illegal as far as I'm concerned, right? So, and the second speaker, Valeriya Gagarina, also was right, even finished it before there was a limit. It was 6 minutes, 15 seconds around that time, and which was also illegal as far as I'm concerned. And Malashin, as usual, he is always on time. So he was 6 minutes, around 15, 20 seconds. So it's also illegal.
7:30. Yeah.
Yeah, the
That's
first one.
perfect.
Yeah, it was
Perfect.
still
Perfect. Perfect.
perfect.
Okay, thank you very much, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, so Kostya, we need a ballot. We need a ballot. Kostya? Yeah, okay, he's working on it. Oh, Kostya, can you screen share a QR code? Kostya, can you share a attaboy. That.
Hold on.
Very funny, very funny.
Okay, double check. I can't touch mine.
Somebody check it. No? Yep.
Can you let us know if that works or not?
Okay, that yeah. Doesn't quite work.
It doesn't, because it's pre-cutting it probably. It's cutting off.
Can you stick it on a A4 page and
Yeah, screen share
yeah, screen share the QR code itself.
Okay, hold on.
It's better. It's nice to have you talk.
I need to change my system preferences.
We hear from you. That's good. All right, this is one step forward, one step at a time. We got Kostya online. We got the internet working. What are you showing me for? Don't show me.
There we go. That's the answer.
Okay, QR code, screen share. Screen share, please. Screen share. Okay, while we're waiting for this to show, we will have a break. This is Baltar. This is your computer. I'm not going to touch it. You use mine. Okay. Good leadership. Good leadership. Is that out of the box thinking or thinking actually in the box? Oh, it's close. Close. Don't show all my personal email things there. What are you doing? Oh my Lord! Look at that. Oh, nice. Who's doing that? He's doing that, or you are? Okay, someone please tell me if it works.
Does it work? Please let us know. Yes. Okay. Brenda, it does work.
Okay, I'm not touching my phone because I don't mess it up. So this is where audience participation is very valuable. The first speaker was Marina. The second speaker, well, it's actually written down. Why am I telling you this?
It says there.
Okay. Doesn't say their temperature. Next time we do this, you should show their temperature preference. All right, has everyone had a chance to vote? Anybody not vote? Anybody struggling? No. Okay, no, show the results! Hey, stop! Stop! You're not supposed to do that! Oh, man.
Who knows? I need to make some votes as well.
Okay, hope nobody just erase that from your brains. You didn't see it. Okay, we're now going to have a break. 10 minutes from now would be, I can't see the time here. I don't want to touch your computer. 15:38. So 15:48.
Or whatever your time said.
15:48. We are back here. There's a washroom downstairs. Unfortunately, we don't have refreshments, but afterwards we will have some refreshments somewhere nice.
Good.
Yes. Very good. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're sitting. Okay, good. Ladies and gentlemen, let's kick off the second half. Second half begins with impromptu speaking. And it is my pleasure today to introduce our table topic master. We call it topic master. And our topic master is the lady that I met the first meeting I came to in this club, and she just blew me away with her wacky, creative table topic session, where I had to apply for a job as a mosquito catcher. And I just thought this thing was so cool, and I could connect to it personally. So it drew me right into the club. So it was a fantastic icebreaker for me in a new club with a bunch of new people. What we are going to do now, would you like to explain what table topics is? I let you, because she loves to talk. So ladies and gentlemen, a lady who isn't committal about what temperature she likes. She doesn't care about the temperature, she cares about the sun, because she was born in Saint Petersburg, and when the sun shines, she's happy. So today, I'd like to introduce a happy person who is a past president of our club, and the immediate past president, Anastasia Lir.
Thank you, Randall, for this nice introduction, for your kind words. Right, here's the table topics part. And that is the amazing opportunity for us to practice our impromptu speaking. We are, frankly speaking, in the audience, we are a bit bored. We're sitting here for an hour. So why don't we go here on the stage just to relax a bit, or maybe to get a bit more stressed out? Yeah. What is actually the purpose of doing it? If you have a fear of public speaking, that's a good first step for you to overcome it. Or if you don't have it, it can be just a good practice, and you can check your performance. To check your performance, we have a time limit, and we have the voting. So you're supposed to speak for 1 to 2 minutes long speech. And so whenever speaking, pay attention to Maria. She is the timer today. If you see the green card after 1 minute, basically you can stop and stop talking. If you see at the 1 minute 30 seconds, you'll see a yellow card, and at 2 minutes you'll see the red card. But actually, you have extra 30 seconds left to finish your speaking, and then you'll run a voting just to to please a bit the best table topic speaker of the day. What are you supposed to talk about? I prepared for you several cards, and these are the proverbs. So for those whose native language is Russian, I have one set, but for those maybe participants online, I don't see you at the moment, but I'd love to. I encourage you to participate as well. I have the proverbs that are translated from Russian. You might be familiar with those, or if not, that really doesn't matter. I forgot how to click it. Yeah, that would be nice. Ansicht.
That's correct.
Yeah, I'm bothering you, sorry. Yeah, so I would, that would be really nice if Sergey, Rami, Michael, or Konstantin would join us for this session. What do you need to do? You read a proverb, you try to predict what it means if you don't know, or you explain us what it means if you know. You give the example, you give an example from your personal life, and you also say whether you agree on that or disagree. What is this? That's it. Now it's time for me to stop talking and ask for someone to volunteer who would like to be the first one. Yeah, all right. Thank you, Valeriya. This card, okay, is for you.
Suffering for friend doubles friendship. Okay, I want to start. That's my hot temperature is 20 degrees. And I think that when you meet a person, you connect with them by some interests, but you test your friendship with the time you suffer for them. When you are by their side in the worst times of their life, where you care for them not only when it's sunny, but when it's rainy, and you wait with your friend for a rainbow. Because a friendship is not only about good moments, it's about being family by choice for each other. And when you find that person for yourself, it can be lots of people who give you a feeling of family and feeling that you can go your way through life with them. And you're not afraid to share your good moments with them, because you know that you can share bad moments with them too. So Suffering for friend, doubles friendship.
Thank you, Valeriya. I would personally prefer not to suffer for a friend, but to support them if I have choice. But that's just my point of view. Would like to be the next one? It's Roman.
Thank you. So,
And
imitation in sincerest form of flattery. So, I need a help from a friend. What is flattery?
List.
So,
List.
So imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. I know why Walter was so laughing a little bit, because he was involved in some NLP program, probably. Yeah. So I think this is some of the obvious, maybe kind of gesture that a person can give to build some closer relation to a person, just imitate the person, because we are all biological beings, and we used to communicate through our behavior, through our gestures and through our posture. And that's why in the case when you imitate someone, you usually trust this person. So subconsciously, person feels like he is trusted. And by the way, it's true that you try usually to imitate those persons who you like. And that's why I believe this is probably all about this. I've never heard about this proverb. It's worth of thinking about, so I will think about it more. Thank you.
thank you. Michael, Rami, Sergey, Konstantin, would you like to participate? As I'm, yeah, that's really nice. I'll post. Yeah, Sergey. He might be familiar with the phrases, as he basically definitely has a Russian background. Whereas why in your
It's There are different languages.
yeah, different language. This one. Okay. All right, Sergey is unmuted. Do you see the proverb? Probably yes.
I can see the proverb. It's amazing proverb. I enjoy. Thank you very much for the great choice, Madam Toastmaster. 7 nannies have a child without an eye. That's very, very true. The meaning of it is absolutely clear. If you have too many people responsible for something, it means no one is responsible. And it really resonates quite well with me. I am software developers as my trade, and that's one of the most common and most important rules that you learn as you progress in software development world. If nobody owns the problem, if nobody owns the project, if nobody owns the task, it means the task will not be done, the project will not be complete, nothing will be done. And that again is related to the matter of leadership that's so important for all the Toastmasters. So if you want to be leader, you have to learn how to own the problem. You have to learn how to own the task at hand and take responsibility if it fails, and of course get credits if it succeeds. So 7 nannies is the best way to ruin anything. That happens too often. It happens everywhere on a daily life, and every time you have some problem to solve, you have to ask yourself a question: who is the owner? Or maybe should I own the problem and then make myself responsible for it? So let's own the problems as we meet them. Thank you.
Again, you might be surprised that some foreigners consider this proverb as quite opposite, and they understand this as the nanny is scared too good of a child who has no eye because he has no eye. And that's not what we mean by this proverb. All right, who's next from the audience? Sure. Could you remind me your name? Dmitry, thank you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. If you can be good, be careful. Is it has Russian analogy or something? Yeah. All right. Yeah, so it says, if you can be good, be careful. Well, it's my first time I hear to this proverb, so I can only guess what it actually means, but I suppose it might mean if you are not really good in something, then so you better be careful until you actually get a hand of it. So I presume I know some, I think, similar proverb. I think it's an American one. So they say, or it's just an expression. So they say, fake it until you make it. Maybe that you can relate those two together. Anyways, I think until you are good. All right. All right. So I think until you are good at something, real good, you better sort of learn. And learning something means that you better be sort of aware of what you're doing and be careful about it. So that's maybe what careful means in this context. So I think it's, until you're good, you should learn, and by learning, you should be aware of what you're doing and be careful. Yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Dmitry, so much. It was nice to hear an American guy laughing. Basically, as far as I understand this proverb, that means if you are going to do something bad, be careful. Michael, would you like to participate? He said no.
Yeah, sure. No, sure.
No, sure. This is an English proverb.
You gonna put it in the chat?
Sure. Don't blame me for this, for the choice. Thank you.
Here online audience, you will see it in a second. It's just typing it, and we see the live chat, but we don't see it on the screen, so that's why we're so quiet. It will pop up in the chat in a second. There we go.
That's a translation of one of the Russian proverbs. I don't know if Michael is familiar with that. Michael, stage is yours.
Madam Table Topics, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I have no clue what this saying is supposed to mean. So I will make it up as I go. When you have a gray beard, such as I do, you have to make a lot of decisions in life because I'm older. And when you make decisions in life, you need to use your gut feeling. You need to think about what's inside. And before you try to do something, does it feel like it's going to be successful or does it feel like it's going to be a failure? You have the feeling. There's no one outside you who can tell you what that feeling is like because it is internal to you. And when we're making decisions, we often say we make a gut decision. And that's what we're talking about here. As you get older and you have a little bit of a white beard and you're a little bit more senior, you have lots of years of experience. And because of those years of experience, you have experienced using your gut many, many times. Sometimes it's right, sometimes it's wrong. it's often not based on facts or data, but it's often based on your experience and how you perceive the problem. And if you base it on your gut feeling, when you make that decision, you are responsible. No one else is responsible, but only you. You used your time on earth and your experience and your wisdom to make a gut feeling as to what should I do. So therefore, you're the only one who's responsible for it, no one else. I'm not sure that this is the correct meaning for the Russian phrase, but it's one that I made up just to suit this application. Madam Table Topics, back to you.
Michael, I will say no more, but that was the translation of "Седина в бороду без прикола." That's it. What I want to comment on this, and I think we have only time for the last one. Would you like to participate? All right. Who is brave here in the audience? Yes, Olga, please. This one goes to you.
A woman's work, yeah? A woman's work is never done. Yeah. Is it the no? No. Where did it come from? Okay.
I have to express that space more outside, very, very loud. Go ahead and try to be louder.
So we live in this one world where women, a woman's work is never done. So in our modern world, modern society, women do a lot of work, obviously. I'm not a feminist, but well, I might be. And as far from my perspective, what this proverb means is that, you know, women have lots of responsibilities. They have to take care of their children, their husbands, their lovers, their loved ones, their nearest and dearest. And so it's just an endless, sometimes vicious cycle, sometimes maybe just a cycle. On top of that, you know, it also made me think about women taking care of their appearance, because, you know, it's a lot of work. You need to put on makeup, you need to dress up, you need to do your hair. What else do we do? Nails. Manicure, nails, that's right, manicure, pedicure, yeah, waxing. Thank you, Randall, for reminding me. Then you need to, you know, to make it all match, because obviously your hair, your makeup needs to match your outfit. And then you need to align your outfit. Oh my God. So it's just, you know, endless work. No vacations for women. And well, dear men who are here, so we need to do something about it, right? Because, well, a man's work is, I guess, sometimes done, whereas a woman's work is never done. So definitely something should be done. Thank you.
Thank you, Olga, for your amazing speech, your perfect appearance, and yeah, none that I'm familiar with. I've tried to find those which we don't have in our language. Yeah, and it's never done. All right, so now let me ask Maria if every speaker are in time before we can vote.
So, right, I have good news. So everyone actually finished on time before the deadline, I guess, before the red card was showing up in the air. So Valeriya was 1 minute 20 seconds. Then Roman was 1 minute 10 seconds. And Sergey was 1 minute 11 seconds, something like that. Dima was 1:20. And Michael was 1:40, but amazing speech. And Olga was 1:50 with amazing speech as well.
Thank you, Maria. So now we can go. And Kostya, could you please share with us the correct QR code, as this one is wrong?
he would be glad to have the 6 participants for voting. Yeah, I don't want to see him seeing me. I want to see him post to the QR code. Judging by his face, he's busy. No, I don't want to, don't interrupt a man working.
Yeah, that's true. Yes, true.
because men's work is done.
When you say it,
So. No.
Question, what is that? We tried the old-fashioned way, but it doesn't help the other side. So that's why we made this.
No, we haven't done it. I cannot unmute him.
No, you should.
Okay, they can.
Why don't we keep going? Kostya, you keep at it. When you've got that QR code, you share your screen. And it's
Okay, all right.
Thank you so much, Madam Topic Master. That was amazing once again. It happens sometimes we have to be flexible with our schedule. And I think we're very, very flexible. So one thing we learned this year is hyper flexibility, especially when it comes to IT. Today, the library, the IT, the internet is not working. So that's a sort of come to Jesus moment. Sometimes you have to really think, how am I going to solve that? And we solve it. So we're actually doing very well. We're going to see how well we've all done today in our evaluation session. And our evaluation session is led by our general evaluator, who's looking at me with those eyes thinking, maybe he doesn't want to call up the speech evaluators, but I think it's better if you do that. Would you like to call up the speech evaluators, or you would like? Yeah, I think it's best if I introduce you, you come up. We kick off our evaluation session, which is very important. Why is it important? Because we get immediate positive feedback and critical feedback on each thing that we do, and that helps us grow with each meeting. So, ladies and gentlemen, Victor, our general evaluator.
So do you want me to call the
Yes.
evaluators?
Yes.
Okay, so I will start a little bit by myself. So it was really nice and still really nice and warm meeting at this really hot weather that we all like, I believe. And let's hear our evaluators who will tell us how our speakers performed today. And I don't have the list of the evaluators actually, but I can do it without it, I think. So I'd like to invite the evaluator for the first speaker, who's Kostya. Kostya, can you hear us? Can you?
Yeah, I can.
Unmute yourself? Okay.
So, yeah, my evaluatee is Marina today, and I'm gonna tell you a few words about her speech. First of all, I would like to praise her usage of body language. It was really great. I like how you used your mimics, how you used your hand gestures, and they complemented a lot your delivery. You also been in the focus of the camera so that not only all the guests in the library might see your flourishing beauty, but also online participants as well. Your performance was fun and cool most of the meeting, and I have never thought that the dry borscht is an actual thing. Now let me think about what you might to consider to improve in your further delivery. At first, I didn't get the central topic of the speech, aside from telling the story. I love storytelling, but you might want to give a hint of the purpose to the listeners. So it wasn't in the title. it was not communicating in the beginning, and it was not clear for me, like all the during the speech, as far as I remember. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I wasn't listening too precisely. Sorry for that. In the real life, where is the context, which can be a self-explanatory? So your storytelling might be happen just out of blue, as you might say, but we lack the self-explanatory context in this format, and without knowledge the goal, it may feel a little bit dizzy. As I realized now, the main thought of his speech was to warn us about the danger of traveling abroad, especially in cheap and underdeveloped countries. And now I want to tell a few words, not only to Marina, but to all the Toastmasters fellows. As a Toastmaster, you might want to deliver a speech that makes a change, that gives us the drive to go the direction you see the right one. So consider having your goal in mind and lead us, your audience, through this speech to your desired destination. Overall, Marina, the speech was great. It was a good delivery. Love your accent. You spoke clearly, and words choice were awesome. Keep it up and deliver more meaningful and colorful speeches. Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you,
Evaluator Victor. Yeah.
Thank you for the good evaluation. We enjoyed it. So let's listen this second evaluator, who's going to be Walter, for the speech of Valeriya. Walter, please.
Thank you. Thank you very much, General Evaluator. Dear Valeriya, where are you here? You're here just right in front of me. We've met a couple of times, and for the audience, I will introduce briefly. Say it again. And for the audience, I will just make clear what your purpose was for today. Your goal was really to introduce us of either your primary leadership style or discuss leadership styles in general. Now, let's find out how did you actually do it. From my perspective, you opened up with an interactive world to the session which we have here, and you asked a question. Everyone was in the game with you while you were here, which is good. A lot of people forget that. Furthermore, you've brought your experience through the horse ride and explaining to the first horse and experience in the second horse. You went through your story and told us each step, which helped me a lot to focus on what's going on and what are the bits and parts your structure is all about. That was fantastic and great. Well done. At the end of the day, you closed it as well with an interactive opening, which makes us again feel still a part of it and not you telling a third-party story of someone. This is important even in times when we have a live audience in front of us and not tend to focus into our mobile phones or electronic devices. Now, overall, I must say that was a great delivery of your content. However, you know that I will give you some points to improve on. And set aside the content thing, which I just named, your organization structure and so forth. You've done brilliant with that. But in a real life scenario, public speaking, there's very often half of things happening around us which can disturb our performance. Number one, the setting. It is a room and it is very loud, and we need to open the windows, and every person standing here is fighting for his voice. That is a matter of fact, okay? It's for everyone, okay? Please use your voice. Why? For yourself. You've done some work, you have some very valuable stuff you created. You must make sure that everyone can hear it very clearly, okay? Number two, and 3 and 4 and 5, will be that you do exactly the same with your body. And some people who were with me last time after work drinking, they know that there was an entire end of game with posture. People might not remember what you said. People might not remember what the point was, but the message is "Уходи красиво," no matter what, because the people will remember: is she going on like that, or is she going on like? And that is critical because that's how human beings work. So for you, focus on loudness and "Уходи красиво." Thank you very much.
Thank you, Walter. You left really nice way, I believe. And you gave us a good example as a good artist. Thank you. So now we invite Anastasia, who's gonna.
Before Anastasia goes up, we take care of this so that we can not screen share. So everybody, is everyone voted?
So now?
Yes, vote now so we can, let me stop the screen share, otherwise they will not see her.
I didn't get it.
Wait, one second.
That people can vote and then we can keep the green screen share.
Tell to
It's to everyone. For the vote.
just to take out this or what?
No, just tell everyone to use this
Now.
for vote.
So let's now please vote by this QR code for best table topics, please. So let's do it now, and then we'll continue with our evaluation session. Thank you. First, you can stop screen sharing. Yes. Okay. Thank you. And so we continue our evaluation session of our meeting. So I invite Anastasia to the stage to evaluate the Roman speech.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Thank you, Roman, for your amazing speech. I like that, not only me, but I believe that Walter also was inspired by that because he used your technique, RFP, when he gave his performance or his report on the club performance later on. So now it has, the impact on our group of people here. First of all, I would like to mention what I really liked, and that's the way how you engage the audience. Definitely the joke in the very beginning helped a lot, and we couldn't stand, but we were involved. We wanted to listen to what are you talking about. Then I like that you used the whiteboard. You wrote us these letters, so we don't forget what are you talking about. RA, the alphabet is quite long, so it was nice. It also, I believe, helped you to remember the structure of your speech. Once you stop talking about one part, you move to the next one. And definitely I want to mention your confidence. That was clearly seen by your posture like this, by your movements here, by your gestures. So that's just probably because you're a quite confident speaker, and I believe that you have prepared the speech in advance. That usually helps us to deliver good speeches. Next point I'd like to mention was the eye contact, and I thought that you paid attention also to Walter. It might be a bit difficult to pay attention to those who are not in front of us, and also you paid attention to the audience online. That's important nowadays since we have the hybrid meetings. Next point I liked was that you used the clear examples, for example, this role play with the professor and the student. That made us easier to understand what are you talking about. What I'd like you to do, that's kind of an improvement, kind of something that I have expected you to say, but you hadn't, is your personal experience. So you used your personal story just a little bit, explaining, I believe, maybe that freedom point, or your experience at work, but that was not about your experience as a leader. So you mentioned Toastmasters at the end of your speech just a little, but you might have mentioned Toastmasters more as you had a president role here, or any other example I'm not familiar with from your private life, from your job when you acted as a leader. As this speech, as I believe, helps us to reflect about the leadership, that's what we're trying to improve here in the club. Overall, I think that was a great speech, and I'm looking forward to hearing the next one. Thank you.
Anastasia. Soon we're gonna vote for the best evaluator, and Kostya will tell us when we'll have the.
Not that fast.
Oh, yes. Okay. Yes, sure. And now our beautiful timer today will tell us the timer report for the meeting.
So I think we can all say that everyone is eligible for voting because the first evaluator was speaking around 2 minutes 20 seconds. Then the second one was speaking around 3 minutes and a little bit exceeding the limits, but I think it was still eligible, right? Yes, that's correct. So, and the last evaluator was speaking around 2 minutes 40 seconds, so which is also fine. Yes, so we are okay.
Everyone seems to be on time, precise and polite, which is really nice. I think it's we get this impression from our German president to be punctual, which is really nice. So first, Roman, are you ready to? Oh, Costa, sorry, Costa, are you ready to give us the QR code? Cool. So we're waiting for the QR code to vote for the evaluators, please. So just reminding, next our grammarian will tell us report on how grammar was used on the meeting today. So Olga, please.
Right, so I'd like to start with the word of the day. And unfortunately, you know what, I have like a blank page dedicated to the word. So, you know what, as the incumbent grammarian and as your guest from a fellow Toastmasters Club, I guess it's a little bit disrespectful not to use this word, but all right. Surprisingly, or probably annoyingly, you guys didn't make a lot of mistakes. So I'd love to just highlight some great use of grammar and vocabulary and probably touch upon political mistakes as well. So without further ado, I'd like to start with Marina here. So Marina used nice phrases such as take for granted, appealing. I feel like this is the word that is underused. So thank you for using it. Long story short, okay. Yeah, as I said, there was always some room for improvement. So there was this animal. It's pronounced leopard. Yeah, not the other way. Okay, Valeriya was the next speaker. So thank you so much, Valeriya, for using the phrases such as take the lead, the adjective full-fledged, the word heard. I love it, by the way. All right. One, I appreciate the fact that you used the words, the collocation, scientific breakthrough, implement a plan, the adjective ultimate, just a couple of things. Let's people do something. Yeah, we do not use to here. And share something with somebody. It's then okay. Thank you, Walter, for using a lot of phrasal verbs such as turn out, work out, take over, wrap up, and also this expression tend to do something. I love it. Okay, Randall, I'd love to praise you on using a lot of colorful expressions such as alive and keeping, keep at it, increase the pace. Yeah. You know what? I always expect native speakers to make at least one mistake, but they never do so. Dmitry, during the Dmitry, right? Yes. During the table topic session, a couple of nice expressions, get the hang of it. I presume. Michael, use your gut feeling. I loved it. Kostya. Kostya used a nice adjective, self-explanatory, but I guess there was a small issue with the pronunciation. And also, Kostya used out of the blue. That's a nice expression. And is it Maria? Eligible. That's eligible. Yeah. And well, thank you so much for letting me be your grammarian today, and keep up a good job at this club. Thank you.
So we, I believe, promise ourselves all to learn grammar, to be better. Kostya, you can take out the QR code. Thank you. Great. So next we are going to listen Valeriya, our accountant today.
I don't really have much to say. There were not a lot of pauses, which is great, I think, because it is really hard to think about what was said after a pause. But there were a few, though, in Valeriya's speeches, when she forgot a few things, it was hard to continue to listen to her speech. And also there were a few pauses in Marina's, but I guess that is something that we all have, and we all face it one way or another. So I said that, it was great. Thank you.
Valeriya. So now it's really showtime. Now we'll see how active listeners we are, as Michael Wader teaches us to be active listeners and proactive listeners. So we need to really intercept everything what's going on in the meeting, in the room. So now it's going to be a quiz from Mr. Walter Schwarz.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you very much once again. Hi. Dear ladies and gentlemen, folks over there online, can you see me? Give me a thumbs up, please. Yes, one. Okay, Kostya's working out his new program or doing something else. Oh, Mr. Odaso. Guys, I want to turn on the chat so I can see you as well, and you can type, or if you want to try, unmute yourself, and if you behave, then we can make it happen that you can say something as well. Let's try that. Can you unmute yourself? And I just need to make an audio check if we will have a back loop or not. Sergey, I can hear you. Okay, maybe we don't need the chat then, which is makes things easier. Ta-da, I think that was Kostya. Michael, I can hear you breathe, which is fine as well. Good. Okay, everyone's set up. The quiz works like that. I have questions. You have the answers, but the question is who has the right one, and that's what we try to find out. We are going to begin with. Am I the only one who has some music in the back? Okay, that's troublesome, but okay. Now, Randall has introduced the educational paths at the very beginning. Which is the amount of numbers of levels? 5. Thank you very much. It was 5 by Mr. Victor. Which? Perfect. Guys, you need to shout out. We are very active listeners here. Which temperature does Victor prefer? Perfect. 36 from Marina or Maria? I don't know. Marina? Maria. Yes. From? Be precise. Perfect. It is a range from 32 till 36 for our friend over here, Victor. Olga is now the president of which club?
French.
Yes, say it again, louder. French club. Yes, guys, can you hear the answers?
Yes.
Good. Yeah, very good. It's the French club. It's Olga, our visitor over here. Carrying on to the next one. Marina has told us a little story. Let's focus on that one. What was the country?
South
Thank
Africa.
you very much. Yeah, these are easy ones. Now, but how did she feel the first time in this country?
Nervous, anxious.
Say it again. How did she feel in this country?
Nervous or anxious?
No, it was the opposite of what you said.
Unsafe.
Unsafe. Yes. Is that correct? No? Yes. But at the end of the story, you learned that. Okay. Sorry, half point for you because then safe was correct. Okay. She had a reaction. She described her story when she was being robbed or started being robbed. What was her reaction? What did she want to do when she was being robbed? To fight. She wanted to fight for response while robbing. That was the exact word count. Not what I would want to do, but I was very impressed. Coming back to, or moving forward, Valeriya, telling us a story about which animals involved? Horses. Very good. Now, what was the name of the second horse? Say it out. It was Wendy. Olga was correct. Guys, are you with us online? Okay, I'm just checking. Maybe my screen is frozen or something. Okay, but they're very active here. Let's see. How there was breathe. Valeriya mentioned there was a grandma horse. What was the age of the grandma horse?
20.
I don't think so, but just answer yes or no. It was 20. I do think so. So 5 people were right. Listening skills are very bad. I thought 24 somehow, but okay, maybe yeah. Okay, good. Moving on to the RFD person. What is the F standing for in RFD leadership?
Freedom. Freedom.
Yes, very good. Freedom. Let's just pretend I couldn't hear you. So we have 5 more. Good. I think we have a time delay in a couple of seconds. I really do. Yeah, because yeah, we do. Okay. We had from Roman a saying, or the overall message was almost. No, it's not Joseph, it's not Stalin, but lead by results, and then he used a metaphor. But which thing should anyway? No, yes, what should happen? We used a nice metaphor to sum things up if things were good or bad. And he said, but the rocket must fly anyway. That was his core point of valuing the performance of the project and the team. Now he also said something, but I think I don't want to use this. So moving on to another question, which says, Victor again, our friend over here. He has a day job, yes, believe it or not. What is Victor's day job? Again, where's that? I can't hear you. Everyone knows. Excuse me. Say it again. He's an entertainer. He said he's a programmer. That's what I heard.
Right.
Can someone confirm?
Not today.
Yes, but they heard you today. I don't make things up. Okay, now, cut a long story short, I think my time is almost over. Nonetheless, what was the word of the day today?
Incumbent.
Thank you very much.
Incumbent.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Victor.
So, guys, I want to ask you one more question. Don't we have a nice and beautiful president in our Toastmasters Club in Saint Petersburg? Do we have a nice and beautiful president in our club? Yes, thank you. I think that everybody feels the tone of our meeting raised immensely. So thank you, Walter. Like, I was impressed that you remember my profession from the 2 meetings before. which is sounds immersive. So now I'm gonna present my general ovation speech. So I'm really happy that there is a club here in St. Petersburg, which I'm part of for years. Some people years, and it's nice that this club is growing, still evolving, and I think it's a big merit of our new staff, well, foreigners actually, Randall, Walter, and Michael. So you guys foreigners brought another feeling, another vibe, as we say here, to our club, which is really important for us. Before that, there were only Russians in the club. It was much more sad here to speak English in front of speaking people. But when there are foreigners here, it makes our life different here. So thank you very much for your efforts and for your participation in our club and in your intentions. It really matters a lot for us Russians here. Thank you very much. Please continue to do that. Special thanks for Randall. So now I'll continue with the criticism with the starting of our meeting. So we never start on time, by the way. So I think it never happened in the history I see here. So that promised time would be started at the time. Why it happens, I don't know. Once I was in New York on some meeting, very punctual people, they write, we start, say, 1 p.m. promptly. It means they really start 1 p.m. It means that they come before that. Even some people write that you can come 30 minutes before. If you come 40 minutes, they won't let you in 10 minutes. Then you'll come in 40 minutes, in announced time, and they really start promptly. Even if it's not ready, something they start, somebody will start speaking, not apologizing, but the meeting will start. I think it's important, and it's really a sign of a good organization and efficiency of the management. So I'm really happy with our great meetings. Smooth now, sound is good, almost no sounds, and I think it's great, and I think it's meritable also. Thank you very much again. So, yes, thank you. So I'm lost, sorry for. Okay, so there is a joke. There is a kind of quiz. How do you think the bee, which is like flying bee, is called in USA?
Bumblebee.
What? Bee?
Fly.
Okay, we have two versions.
Bumblebee.
You should have the
Bumblebee.
So B, okay, we have a third question, and any maybe from our Canadian friend, B, which lives in US.
We're very simple. We say B.
Okay, so any other guesses? Well, you could guess, as I'm a programmer, it's USB. It was a joke. So can you continue my session? The speeches were prepared. Everybody delivered good speeches. Somebody had presentations. Everything was clear. Evaluations were done good. People were invited to participate in the meetings. That's all I could say for my evaluations. So thank you everybody who joined and participated in our meeting.
Thank you so much for coming back and rejoining our club, which is very important. So that also is Walter in the year that we managed to bring back old experienced members into our club, which is very important. So perhaps this club had a lot of turnover in the past, and I think it's just a testament to everybody's contribution that we still have our core here. And they're not all physically here today. Some of them are online, some of them are not here because it's summertime and it's beautiful weather. And we know we're going to experience that soon. But before we do that, Walter, I would like you to come up. Because, Mr. Walter, we have to give some awards. And we don't have anything sexy to hand out to you today, but I will read out the award winner, and Walter will shake your hand, and someone will take a picture. Who can take a picture? Who can take a picture? Okay, yeah, or Marina can take a picture. And then we should take a group picture at the end, because in the old days, we always took a group picture. And there was this serious one, and the one we just So, ladies and gentlemen, who could possibly be the best evaluator for our 141st meeting of the Saint Petersburg Toastmasters Club in Saint Petersburg, city on the Neva, founded in 1703? It was Walter Schwarz. Shake your own hand. Very good. But you need to shake too. No, the president. Yeah, well, I'm shaking myself. Congratulations. Very good. Very good evaluation. I had tears in my eyes. Yeah? Tears in my eyes. Good. Something I got dusted. Good. Thank you very much. Okay. Pleasure. Thank you, everyone. Second award for the best tabletop speaker at the 141st meeting of the Saint Petersburg Toastmasters Club goes to Mr. Mike Later. How do we shake like that? The camera is here. Here's the camera. We have to, you go to here and shake it. Okay. Oh yeah, it's working. Yeah, it's working. Yeah, perfect. Careful with the hand motion. No. Or like that. Oh no, we don't know where it's. There we go.
Thank you.
Okay, we only go.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. And the best speaker in the 141st meeting on the same. You never saw. You saw the vote when it was goes to.
Signal's weak.
The signal is lost.
Screen is frozen.
And the sound is lost.
Yeah, no sound and frozen screen. We lost the sound, Walter.
The screen is back.
It should be better. Now, Michael, give me a thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you, Olga. Back in the game after some technical issues. I would just love to wrap it up and leave us all go for a bit of refreshment afterwards because it's very hot in here. I think we're all in this boat together. Now, it is end of term. End of term is always nice, but the beginning is always better. I want to use this last minutes to say a huge, big thank you to our last team of this year, who were Konstantin, Kuts as the PR responsible, who was doing it, I think, probably half term. Thank you very much. Who was Michael Wader, the VP for membership, and Rendo, who was the, I don't know, secretary, sergeant in arms, and sometimes all other single roles. Alexander Kim, some of you know him, but he's not with us today, who was the official sergeant in arms. Does everyone know what the word means, sergeant in arms? Yeah, because, yeah, but as I know that we don't, I do, no. It's actually the person, I would just call it a host, so a person who always prepares the documentation in the room. I struggled a lot because I've never come across that. Also, big thank you to, yes, myself as the president for making it happen and guiding through it. But I want to introduce just the names for the new team that everyone is aware of where this is going. So saying thank you to the old team and then announcing the new team is a quick thing to do. The next term's vice president for PR will be Konstantin. Konstantin is not with us anymore. I think he's searching for some QR codes or something. Alan Akamba will be from Moscow, will be joining us from Moscow, but will be the VP for education. He's also a very mature character who knows how to guide through the leadership programs. Marina Volodchenko will be the membership responsible for the next term. That's good. If someone here from the members, you want to say a word, just say yes. If you have a word to say or something, then you can just come up and say it. Good. Marina will be doing that. And what do we have more? Secretary and finance, I think, is still open. But last but not least, what is the most important role will be the president role. I don't want to make it bigger as it is, really. And I know it is, what I feel now is how I was introduced to the role. But I just want to say you're not alone. And the president's role goes from myself to our lovely Valeriya. And Valeriya, you want to come up here, please, for a second. And yes, a very, very important thing to learn in public speaking is just to remain silent for a couple of seconds and take it all in, because that makes a lot of people nervous. A lot of them. We can straight away by handing it over learning this. How do you feel?
All right.
Very good. Now I say good.
Good.
That's very good, because for good, you wait another couple of seconds while I'm away, because obviously there can't be a handover without an official thing.
The president.
Yeah, well, it's been through some heads, okay, and you know, Russia and his crown so it is a bit of a. I've received that crown myself. I put my some ditches on it, and it is used to get resize it towards your head. But what everything is all about is you cannot wear this crown like that, because a crown will always fall down. So the first rule is you always need to go head up. Okay. Now I'm placing that to you. Okay. To you, official president for the Toastmasters Saint Petersburg International Club. Warm welcome to our new president.
I feel I have to say something.
Yeah, that makes me proud. Yeah.
Well, I wasn't prepared. Yeah, thank you very much for your support in the future. I hope and count on it. And let's continue our public speaking and get more members. So everyone who is here and not a member yet, please think about it. And yeah, let's go for a drink.
Perfect. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You can sit down with your crowd, get used to it, and I'll just close this off. And thank you very much, dear Miss President. I need to get used to it now. And thank you for also announcing the new goals or some goals which I want to suggest you should go with the club into the next term. And you just said it, new members is always the right thing to do, fill the rows quickly, but I think 80-20 approach, but to optimize and standardize the automated process on these techie things stuff the first 15 minutes just will open up a lot of resources for going back into the move of running through the education programs much faster. And that makes the fun of this club. Thank you very much, everyone who wants to join us in after work drink club can do so. I will be at Rubensteiner. I don't know who else. Maybe I see one of you there. And close this meeting. Thank you for this experience. Thank you for being with us and join us every time. The next meeting is on 10th of July at 12 o'clock, which is in 2 weeks' time at 12 o'clock Saturday. I think from now on, almost every Saturday. That's what we said. Thank you very much, and let's go and have a drink. Yes, a picture. Let's go and have a picture. Can I ask you to come over? And yes, we had a tradition actually in the offline world to have a common picture just for the records of the social media today. And
For the good memories.
what? Yes, for the good memories afterwards. I'm not sure how that. I'm not sure how public times this will be. No, I don't think so. Nice white background. Red, you should probably come with me. No, you think we should move here?
No, I was thinking the picture at the back is very nice.
Oh yeah, can we just
What if we have it here and we have our
This camera as well.
Let's do that. Let's do it on the piano. Parallel. No, wait. No, in front of that. That's perfect because it's a hybrid meeting. The taller people physically can please come next to me, and the not so